Native 1440p, everything maxed out with ray tracing, 25 frames a second, and this is what people mean when they say that the SteamMachine is underpowered. Hello and welcome to Blade Fever, and a wonderful time to you wherever you are. And if you have been here on the channel lately, you know that I am currently on my way to understanding what the internet affectionately calls the GabeCube. And I have been playing quite a bit with it on a quest to bring you my distilled thoughts about it. And today, as part of that journey, let us do the thing that brought us all here in the first place. Let's play some games. And to help us understand more about Valve's PC console for the living room and how it runs games, let's keep it simple and play one of my favourite games this year, which happens to be a pretty taxing one, as you've just seen. That is Crimson Desert. And the rules are simple, 3 runs. First, let's get the highest possible settings out to see where the ceiling is, then all the way down to the lowest to see what this thing can really push. And finally, I'll give you my own setup, the settings that I think suit this beautiful game best on the SteamMachine. And we are live here in Crimson Desert on the wall of the Citadel of Hernand, a rather NPC busy place, and we're just going to roam around. We're currently set at 1440p. That is what my cheap Amazon Find monitor here can do, and we're at medium settings. So natively with these settings, the game is running at around mid-40s in terms of FPS. Not a bad experience, actually definitely enjoyable when it comes to playing the game. But what we set out to do in this video is to try 3 settings. We're going to set the highest settings in a second just to see how the machine deals in its native rendering with the game. Then we're going to put the lowest settings onto the game just to see what happens and how much the machine can get out of it. And then I want to dial in the settings that I deem are the most suited to Crimson Desert. And I want to show you how I actually enjoy playing this game here with my configuration on the SteamMachine. And let's start off with setting everything to the highest possible graphics setting that we can get out of the game, and that is the cinematic preset with ray tracing on, and I'm set to 1440 when it comes to the resolution. And here we go. We're just going to get down from our little roof, and as you can see, as we are roaming around, on the top left side of your screen, you're going to see what got the internet to talk a lot about the performance of the SteamMachine and saying that it is underpowered because, as you can see, we are currently reaching 25 FPS. And this is really the power that the SteamMachine has. This game came out mid-March, and here is the SteamMachine dealing with it. It's a beefy game. Nonetheless, if we get some more contemporary setups, they actually get some better performance out of it. This is just the way it is. I'm not wanting to glaze over the fact that the SteamMachine has the power it has. I just want to show you what it does when we set the game to 1440p and at its highest settings. But let's not despair, because we actually set out to do something different, and I want to put the lowest settings on here just to show you how the machine responds. So for this, I used the minimum preset. We got ray tracing off and we're set at 1440, and here we are. And I hope you can see this on your monitors, because there is actually something well known happening with the game, and the game starts to look like a watercolor, losing all its sharpness and edges. Again, this is well known, and as far as I researched, it seems to be a rendering issue. Be quite interesting to know why this is happening. Maybe some of you know. How to solve this? Quite easy. All we have to do is just go back in the settings and put FSR on. I'm going to put the upscale resolution off, and if we just put FSR 4.1 on, we just regain back the sharpness and the edges. Actually, navigate at a solid 50. Good way to play the game, of course, if you're a friend of detail and you just want a little bit more happening visually on your monitor. This isn't exactly the best setting for that because the game is a little bit naked. And now finally, I would like to set the game the way that I found works best with the SteamMachine, and by that I mean the most visually pleasing and immersive look the game has, as well as the best frame rate, so the best fluidity when it comes to play itself. And here we go. I'm going to dive into the settings, and I'm actually going to put everything to high. I'm going to start to work my way down. For example, with the shadow quality, I'm going to set that to medium. Then we're going to take ray tracing off of the equation, and I'm going to put the reflection quality here to medium as well. I'm going to put water quality down to low. Foliage density stays high, while the volumetric fog, I'm happy to put that down to minimum. And effect quality, simulation quality, post-processing effect quality, that all stays on high. And I've got FSR on here. And we suddenly have a rather pleasant image to look at. Crisp, sharp enough, fairly fluid, and we are currently pulling 40 frames a second, so low 40s. Not bad, not bad. But we can get a little bit more out of this. You know, I've got Tinkeritis, so I did find that if you actually go in and put the upscale resolution to quality, this gives a significant boost to the actual look, and we gain a few FPS as well, actually making the experience overall rather pleasant and fluid. There is a tiny bit of artifacting here as we turn the camera. That's to be expected though, but nothing that would break the immersion or nothing that would be horrible or unpleasant to look at. And finally, I know there's a way to make this look even a little bit better, and I'll show you how we can do that. And this has to do with putting on something that I usually don't like to use at all in games. That is frame gen. And I don't like frame gen because I absolutely despise the feeling of input lag. There is nothing more horrible. But it doesn't happen here. This is quite a pleasant experience. There is no delay in the input, and we're seeing stable mid-70s when it comes to frames. So fluidity is increased more, and we have a very crisp, very beautiful image on our screens. And this really is the way that I enjoy playing this game on the SteamMachine. Beautiful game, and these settings really help you if you want to suspend your disbelief and dive into this beautiful world. That's what you can do. By the way, I'm going to have the settings down below for you if you want to copy them. And there it is, Crimson Desert sitting at 1440, 75 frames with frame gen and FSR on, stable, still looks good. That's the setup I'd use. And to be clear about what we saw at the start, those 25 frames maxed out at native, that's real. This machine can't run Crimson Desert at cinematic For reference, a desktop with an RTX 5060 gets around 45 at those same settings. So this is a demanding preset across the board, but 25 is 25, which brings up the other thing. We were promised 4K with this machine. With a game like this, that isn't happening. Not at cinematic, not natively, not close. 1440p is where this box actually works, and that's not me being generous. That's just where the numbers land. What I can do is run this game at 75 frames with settings that still look like this. Whether that's good enough for you is your call. For me, it is, but I'm still learning a lot about this machine. If this was useful, hit subscribe. I'm working through more games on this thing, one at a time. And I want to know, at 30 frames, would you play it? I run a poll on this, and the most popular answer by a mile was 40 to 50 frames. So tell me below, where do you draw the line? Thanks for watching, let me know below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.